Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 8th to the 14th of February 2016. So we're coming out of the woods now. It's been a long, slow start to the year, very backwards, retrospective, reconnective start, with Mercury retrograde in Capricorn going back to meet Pluto. And if you want to learn any more about that aspect, I've spoken about it in my last few videos. But this weekend we've had the dark moon in Capricorn and Venus in there as well. So we're letting go now of the density of the past. Since before Christmas we've gone back, we've had that retrospective, we've rethought what undermines us, what underpins us, and what we're standing on and for. So as we come out of the weekend, Venus is meeting with Pluto. We should be travelling on a heartfelt path now with a lot less baggage. Mercury is still in Capricorn until the end of the week when it goes into Aquarius, so at that point we are out of the retrograde shadow and we are on a clear road ahead. So all the energy now is turning to Aquarius. We're moving from the Saturnian to the Uranian. This begins with the new moon in Aquarius on Monday at 19 degrees. So to fully embrace the Aquarian energy, it means being sovereign, disciplined and responsible for what we're transmitting. So hopefully the recent Mercury retrograde has had us rethink our fundamental beliefs, our psychologies, and deprogram ourselves, so at least what we're thinking is actually our own and relevant going forwards. Because the zigzags of Aquarius are the electromagnetic waves of the universe, if you like. We transmit from the heart electromagnetic frequencies, and whatever we're transmitting, that's the level that we can modulate back on, that we can attract back on. So Aquarius is all about independent thought and independent being, responsibility for that transmission before we get pulled out to either follow the group or try and change the world. We need to actually change ourselves deeply from within. So this is the time of Imbolc, the quickening. This is the time of life returning to the planet, that frisson of life as we see the snowdrops, as we see the days start to get longer. And there is that hope for the future, there is that vision, but it has to come from us first. So this is going to be a week of independence, independent thinking, challenging what we've been told, challenging what we've always believed, and making sure that we're being our true selves. We can believe different things at different levels of our body. So if you consider your body as maybe on the physical level, on the psychological mental level, on the emotional heart level, and on the spirit and soul level, then we have those 4 different areas of ourselves. And if we take one of our beliefs, we can actually run it through those 4 energy centres and we can see it change. And we're very much taught to believe first, to build up from the physical, mental, psychological level. So you could have a belief, for example, that life's a struggle, but if you run that up through those energy centres, then you start on the physical and that seems real. You're separate, or you perceive yourself to be separate, and you have to go out and work and you have to fight your corner. Psychologically you might feel separate to other people and you have to get your opinions across or be heard. But once we start to raise that through the heart and the spirit centre, then we get back into that reconnectivity. So it's a good week to challenge a belief on all 4 of those levels and see how that raises up your energy as you get higher. Once we've done that, we can actually start to live from the top down. So what about if we take a belief and we take it to the highest level first and check if it's true before we manifest that on the physical plane? Because Aquarius is all about vibration, it's all about truth, and it's all about deep inner knowing. So if we're working on a belief on the physical level and it isn't true, then we're actually creating something that isn't true for ourselves. So that's a really good exercise to do this week. Raise a belief all the way through your system and see if it actually holds on each one of those levels. To help us, we have the Chinese year of the fire monkey. So this is cheeky and activating. This is the perfect energy to go in and challenge what is or isn't true and make the necessary changes. So we can harness that this year and maybe even carry with us a sense of humour, because not everything has to be long, difficult, hard path to be trodden, hard work and sorrowful. Maybe the fire monkey will bring out that lovely Uranian spirit of rebelliousness and fun. So throughout the middle of the week, once we've had this new moon in Aquarius with the cheeky fire monkey, we can actually spend a couple of days reflecting on what we've learnt with all the very deep and meaningful Capricorn energy. But before we let go of Mercury in that sign, we can actually assess what have we learnt and start to do those energy workings and get lighter so that we can travel lighter and with less baggage. This feels like it can come to the fore on Thursday the 11th, because although it's not really the 11th day of the month, because a month begins on the new moon, which would mean this is the 4th day, the sun does pass through 22 degrees Aquarius in the 11th sign of the zodiac, so we have 2211 there hidden. So this is a very good time to connect with your inner rebel, your genius, your visionary, and have some breakthrough ideas and start to apply those, or even just start to transmit those to change the world around you. So by the weekend, that summing up of all the Capricorn lessons comes to an end as Mercury moves into Aquarius at the weekend. And this brings us to Valentine's Day. Now, Valentine's Day is just a concept, but it's a very interesting one this year because the Sun and Mercury will both be in Aquarius. And Aquarius is the sign of unconditional love and true relating, soul relationships. So we've again been taught on the physical level that a relationship, somebody has to provide something for us, or fill in the gaps that we don't have, or complete a need somehow. But this Valentine's Day will be one to really explore those soul connections. Can you let your partner be free? Can you relate on the level of you are you and I am I? Let's find the best possible connection and let it flow, and jettison some of the junk and the programming of decades, with a little bit of fun too, with that monkey energy live and kicking. So it's a good opportunity to have a look at romance. Is it dragging you down? Is it a sponge that's saturated now that could do with a good wringing out? Can we refresh those soul connections and let each other be free and raise that unity to a higher vibration with all of the Aquarian energy around for Valentine's Day? Because once we truly get to know ourselves and start to resonate on that level, then we can have the bravery and the independence to view another soul for who they are rather than what we need from them. So to summarise, we're coming out of the woods now. We've had a very long, slow and interesting and self-supporting phase with Mercury meeting Pluto in Capricorn, and we begin the week with the dark moon and Venus as well, getting the value and the worth of that, getting the real drops of wisdom. And then we're stepping into the new moon and the fire monkey year with the cheeky rebellious activating Aquarian energy and starting to play with those energies, starting to reclaim our sovereignty and our independent thought and feeling, and take responsibility for what we're transmitting and receiving from the heart centre to bring new life to our future. So those are the horoscopes for this week, and I'll see you next week. If you'd like to explore these energies further, then there's a number of ways that I've created that you can do that. Aquarius new moon is a great time to start your astrological new year and to start to study these energies and see how they apply to you. So you can either come through for a reading on Skype, or join the membership group on Facebook where we're discussing the current energies, how to apply it to our chart, tarot, how to use that, numerology, a number of other esoteric subjects there, and you're free to dip in and out as your time permits. Or I have 3 tarot courses and a year-long astrology course, 2 lunar courses, and a course how to work with the elements. And these are all video and notes, so you can do that in your own time and feed back to me via email. So there's no reason not to begin to engage with this power, to reconnect with the planetary consciousness, and actually begin to learn how to apply this for yourself so that the year ahead is actually right place, right time. So for any of that, please do contact me, zoehines7@gmail.com.